Okay, so I'm going to talk about carbohydrates. Just a brief introduction. So carbohydrates are let's make sure I'm on the right slide. They're the most abundant class of bioorganic materials on the planet. They're mostly dry. Most of dry plant material are carbohydrates. Now you should understand that most of any living organism is mostly water and inorganic stuff anyway. So when we look at bioinorganic substances, we're actually talking about a minority of a living thing anyway. Now, in the human body, proteins are definitely the most of what we're made up of. But plants are mostly carbohydrates. So that's a little bit of a difference between humans and plants, among many other more obvious things. Grain plants produce carbohydrates by photosynthesis. This is the food they eat. So they take carbon dioxide and water and they slam them together using energy to power the reaction, and they make carbohydrates. So let's talk about what carbohydrates are. Now, like in this part of the class, when we talk about these different types of compounds, it's much broader than before when we talked about what an alcohol is or what a ester is or what an aldehyde is. They're going to be these really broad descriptions. So carbohydrates are used by plants as either structural elements or energy. They're energy and structure. They build their cell walls out of it, and then they use it for fuel. Humans use it for energy, energy storage. Actually, that's where we get the carbon to make other things is from carbohydrates. It's primary fuel. And part of the framework of DNA and RNA, and links to lipids. Basically, humans use it kind of in the same way. We just don't make like cell walls out of it. We use it to build other molecules. So what a carbohydrate is it's got this is the simplest formula. Most simple carbohydrates have this formula. But a carbohydrate is a polyhydroxyaldehyde, polyhydroxyketone, or a compound that yields a polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone upon hydrolysis. I'm going to have to get to why we say that. This is particularly referring to disaccharides and oligosaccharides and monosaccharides. The simplest units of a carbohydrate are polyhydroxyaldehydes and polyhydroxyketones. So this up here, this is the aldehyde functional group. And it's got all these hydroxyl groups down here and a hydroxyl group at the bottom. Here we have a ketone and a bunch of hydroxyl groups. And so that's what a carbohydrate is. It's just a polyhydroxyaldehyde or a polyhydroxyketone. So aldehyde or ketone with lots of hydroxyls on it. The simplest unit, those two units I just showed you, these are examples of monosaccharides. So it's a single polyhydroxy or polyaldehyde, polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone unit. Oligo, di, and polysaccharides are just combinations of those. So di means two. So disaccharide is two of these monosaccharide units bound together. An oligosaccharide is somewhere between 2 and 10 monosaccharides bound together. And a polysaccharide is many more. It can be thousands and tens of thousands. These three are why this clause of yields a compound that yields a polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketones upon hydrolysis is because they themselves, the nature of the bonding into multiple units, polysaccharide and disaccharide units, breaks it so that they're not all polyhydroxyaldehydes, polyhydroxyketones, but if you break them apart, you get the polyhydroxyaldehydes and ketones back. So that is the basic description of what a carbohydrate is.